Good morning. Happy Tuesday, optimists. Today is Tuesday. Like I just said, August 29th, 2023, and the market is ripping right now. I'm still in paper. Still going to be practicing paper this week. And yeah, we'll be going from there. All right, let's go ahead and dive on in. Ba-doop, boop. So you can see market is ripping. I'm not sure because I have not taken a look at any sort of news or anything like that. What is causing this rip? But you see it is ripped about 20 bucks or so since the open, and we may get a fall over. It's actually closer to 30. We may get a top down fall over, but right now it's looking pretty hot in terms of upward momentum. Let's take a look at the market calendar today. That's not it. Let's take a look at the market calendar here. So today we had Red Book year over year. We had the house price index month over month, year over year, and S&P Case-Shiller home price index month over month and year over year. And then we also had consumer confidence and the JOLTS job opening. All this today. And then we've also got 7:30. We've got the Dallas Fed services index coming up in about 3 minutes, and 7-year note coming up at 10. A lot of reports today. Just wow. Where did this end? Where's August 30th? There we go. All the way up to the crude oil. So ton of reports today. Get this on my little bracket order here. So since the open here, we've had 1, 2, 3 really big rips. I will say I do love, I'm going to try just a quick little short right here. I'm only going for 3 ticks. We're getting, looks like 3 ticks in the opposite direction. He goes a little late on that short. Yeah, I'll cut that. All right, down 5 ticks. Went long right here for a little bounce up towards there we go. Those like 3 back, so down slightly. Up here at 44.75 is the highest. Crazy. I think this is the highest it's been this month. Take a look at the 20. Here, look at the full month here. Close. High of the month is 46.21. We're at 44.75. And you can see we've kind of been actually stacking up on TTM over the last few days. We're nearing the highs of the last 5 days, which is right up here around the 44.80 mark. We're back at the high of the day. What happened to my 3-minute time frame? New jump there. May actually get a push up to 80. There's 77.25. Went long on this. There we go. We got that. We're in pause now on the day. A lot of volume on that candle. 7,300. 70, now almost 8,000. Continuing to push up. Made a new high there. 78.25. What up, Kevin? Good to see you. I was honestly hoping for some short trading opportunities this week. And I haven't got that many. Since yesterday was a combination of bullish and bearish. Today is just straight bullish. 44.79 now. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see where the 200 is. It is an eon away. So we could continue to stay in this bullish area for a while. That's our 4th rip up. Remember, this is my least favorite kind of trading, where we're just trading by the highs. It's amazing how much slower it feels on the 1-minute chart than it does on the 10-second chart. It's kind of funny. There's that push to 80 that I mentioned. Big rejection, a little bit actually off of 80. I don't know if I'd say big, but a reasonable sized rejection off of 80. I don't really want this trade, actually. I was gonna take another long... Oh, okay, apparently I'm in the trade. Because, you know... Because COS paper. I'm hoping it'll let me out. It's continuing to rip up, so that's good, but I did just hit, like, close the trade out. Alright, we're up 150 on the day. I'm definitely not going to really count that as being a skilled trade there. High up there at 80.75. Still continuing to rip. Is there any sort of news that has, like, really pushed this forward? Consumer confidence retreats in August to close to levels signaling recession. Looks like it. Looks like recession. Yeah, you can see all that recessionary bull run there. Why the Fed's monetary policy is lost some of its potency in interest rates. May need to rise higher as a result. Jay Powell was actually saying this at the Jackson Hole meeting. It mentioned that they're prepared to continue to push interest rates higher. Which I guess is, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Just depends on how you look at it, I guess. Continue to push up. We may actually hit 85. 85 was the high of the last 5 days. You go to 515. You see right here, at 44.85. We're really coming into that area as we're testing that zone. By the way, if y'all chilling, hanging out, I appreciate if y'all hit that like button. It's 44.81 now. Being new high on the day, 81.75. This is just that endless rip. There's just all day rip. At some point, it's gonna have to come back down. I don't see that happening anytime soon, though. We are really far on the 200 and the 5200 cross here. TTM 0 at 6.0, so it's not even like overextended on TTM, just because this had these times here where it's pulled back some. You have this little hammer candle forming here at the end of this wedge. Now this could pull back to the 9 here, like 78, or it could just rip up on the next candle. And there's it just ripped up on the current candle. It's funny, but you would think that this is like a wonderful way to trade, but I genuinely dislike trading the highs of the day. It's not my favorite. This did end up pulling back. I was waiting for the pullback to the 9. I tried to short into that pullback, but nothing happened there. I may end up in a trade that I have no idea that I'm in, but I'm going to try and take a bounce off the 9 here. Whoa, big drop. If I was in my evaluation, that would have filled, and that would have hit me. So it's finally coming back down. That would have absolutely filled. Okay, apparently it filled here. Am I long or short? I'm long. Filled off 75. Major drop down there. I'm just waiting for it to let me out of the trade. So let me out. Lost on 5 ticks on that. That was really kind of weird because, you know, it's TOS. And it just always has that really sort of slow late fill, which happens frequently with TOS. And this is actually what I was looking for, was really just a drop like this. Been waiting for it, honestly. That was a major drop from 82 all the way down to 74. It's an $8 drop there. Those 13,000 contracts dropped. I'm gonna try going short again. So short off 74. And I'm going to actually look for a push down to 70. Basically just above this EMA 50. We do have a little bear flag right there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to drop. I'm looking for this rejection off 75. TTM went from 6.1 on the high candle to 4.9. It was a massive drop. Down to 3.8, now 2.6, and now we're approaching 1.0. So we're almost to my sell order, or buy order rather. Came pretty close, hit that 35 and bounced a little bit. This is what I was hoping to actually get an opportunity to practice, was short trading. I'm waiting for this blue to switch to red and push down to the EMA 50 here. We got 9 below 12, so that looks good for short trading. Question is, will we hold the 35 and bounce back up? If we do, we'll just cut this, but if we don't, if we can get this 1226, 91226 rather, crossover, we could probably pull down to this EMA 50. There's a red marker on TTM. Still no drop below the EMA 35 though. Get this whole move in here. You see my exit's like right at the 35, which was the intention. Because this first slam down was so big, I don't know if we're going to get the downward push that I'm really looking for. Try and get out of 73. Tap my order a couple of times. There we go. Ran through it. Back pause at 150. It just held the 35 too well. I think this is too far away from this whole zone here in order to really have too much of a drop. But we do have a head and shoulders here, and so we may be entering into bearish territory here over the next few minutes, or over the next, like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. If we get a red to yellow, I'll go long. Currently, I don't trust us in either direction, because we could rip up, we could rip down. We've got the crossover for the down, we've got the red for the down, but we're holding support on the 35. More inclined to think long on this. It could be wrong though. But it's really just because we held the 35 through this whole zone here. Might go long here off of I was trying to get like a pullback. I did pull back some. It entered me long at 73. This thing is so finicky. We finally got that pullback that I was actually looking for when it came to the short trade. I'm going to cut this. Take that L as soon as it lets me. That's how long it takes to cut with a market order on TOS. Finally. Wow, that was such a crazy long time. So I should have kept with the short mentality right there. Just because we did have this bear flag. The reason why I went long was because we held the 35 as support for so long. And typically, if that's the case, we end up getting a bounce. I think one of the reasons why we didn't get that bounce was because really this 13,500 or 13,500 contracts or so that dropped off there off the high really sort of switched it into that bearish mode. We'll see if we can hold the EMA 50 here. But you can clearly see the head and shoulders. What a crazy rip on the day, though. VWAP's down here at 55, about $20 away. Next thing I should wait for is a red yellow. Let's see if I have the patience for that. To wait that long, because it could be a while. 4.69, 5.5. I'm just sort of playing with my strategies today. Generally, if I end up red, I don't care. Right now, I'm just really just trying to play with the strategies at the moment. Tried to go long right there, but no such luck. The timing on this thing just sucks so bad. Alright, entered long. I have a 5-tick trail stop. I was trying to get in down here. It entered me about, I don't know, $3 high. Like ridiculously higher than I wanted to get to enter that trade, but You know how these things go. All right, so we're guaranteed profit now at this point on this trade. Hopefully it just continues to rip up. Nah, it didn't. It filled. Try another one. They're long off 73.50. So I want to see this bounce to 75. The trail that we have is 5 ticks, which is currently at 3, now 1. So currently, if we lost in this trade, we would end up at just a loss of 1 tick. But we'll see if it just keeps on ripping. So we got that trail. Okay, so no matter what, we'll be at least flat in this trade. All right, now this trade is guaranteed profit with that trail stop there. Nice. There we go. Guaranteed 337 now in profit. See if we can get like 3 more ticks up. Push. Nope. Pulled 337.50 out of that. Pretty good trade. Put us in the green 225, which is an awesome salary in and of itself. I mean, if you did 225 a day for 5 days a week, you're pulling 1,125 a week, and that's a full-time job right there. So all we did on that strategy, so that strategy was pretty straightforward. All we did on this was you had this big drop off the highs, and all we did was look at the EMA 50 as support and then wait for the red to yellow on the TTM 1 minute. The red to yellow on the 1 minute is usually very powerful. And so that's all we did. I used trailing stop to manage my risk on that, on both those 2 trades, and both of them worked out quite well as a result of that. I could have taken more profit on that last trade. I think at one point it hit 500 in profit, but utilizing the trail stops on specifically on TOS is very useful. The trail stops, the challenge with it is make sure that you pick a wide enough range to where you don't get stop hunted, but a short enough range to where it can actually make that rip and cover that gap that you need it to in order to get into the profit zone. What I wish trades could do is I wish you could add a trail stop at any point. I think that'd be just so cool. All right, we're getting a pullback now. We'll see if we pull back to about the 9 EMA and bounce off that. At the most, I would say down at like 72.50 would be the pullback that we would look for. We're all the way up here at 77.50. So that hit 74, 75 or so. Try to get in at 74.50. All right, in long at 74.50 and immediately dropping down, but hasn't hit our stop yet. So that dropped down 2 ticks. Looks like it may push a little lower, so we may end up getting stopped out on this. Yeah, got stopped out on that. We'll try this entry again. In at 73.75, so a little lower. Just got stopped out again. The reason why I'm pushing this is because I am trying to take advantage of this this yellow movement here. And that's a pretty heavy drop there. TTM 2.8, now 2.57, now 2.3 on this new candle. I'm gonna go long off this EMA 50 bounce here. Wow, just immediately dropping. Crazy. Okay, well, put ourselves right back in red. This is why I'm trading in paper this week, because I've really had some difficult times sort of determining direction. I think this is going to bounce. I think this is going to bounce off this EMA 50 zone. I'm long again. If I continue to lose, it doesn't really matter. That's why I'm trading paper right now. This is sort of this ABCD pattern here, and that's going to stop me out. Dang it. I was really looking for this to push as a bounce off of this. Maybe the issue is using stops, but I don't normally use stops. TTM from 2.3 now to 1.9. That's the push I was looking for, man. But I think maybe the problem is using the stops. I was looking for this to push all the way up towards here again. So kind of got rid of most of our profits on that drop there, trying to go long off the 35 and then long again off the 50. But of course, using stops, it's always very risky to use stops. It's also risk management to use stops. It's funny, but it works that way. 1.9 to 1.7 on TTM. Stops are funny because they can actually be one of the biggest contributors to losing money. They can also be one of the biggest contributors to making money. So it's very, I don't know, stops are weird to me. I'm going to stop using stops at the moment. And then I'm going to start going for 5-tick scalps. I don't know, but just tripped on that. It's trying to go for 5 points. I don't want it to go for 5 points. I wanted it to go for 5 ticks. Oh, gosh. I like TOS, but their paper trading system, like, after they switched over to Schwab, their paper trading, like, became dramatically slower. It makes it really challenging to time entries or get correct entries at all. CTM's down to 1.1. Oh no. I'm trying to get the exit here at 74.50. Entrance is at 72 1/4. TTM's at 1.0. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here. This is very much in this head and shoulders range, but this also looks like an ABCD pattern. Let's have 73.50, which was the original sell order. And right here at the top of the hour. Tap 74 there. And getting some pullback, heavy pullback off 74. I was really going for 74.50, but I don't have access to Bookmap on trading paper, so I don't have the capability of really seeing like if there's a lot of orders sitting at 74 or 73.50 or what have you. Wide range on this candle. From 71 up to 74. It's a 12 tick range on this guy. TTM is super close to a cyan switch, but nothing yet. It feels so much slower to trade on the 1 minute chart, man. I can tell you, it's just kind of mind-numbingly slow. So that actually hit our sell order, but didn't fill. I'm gonna drop this down to get out at maybe I'll just leave it, because the intention was that this would go to 75. We almost have this crossover here. We almost have a cyan switch, but you can see that this pullback is a little aggressive. About 5 seconds left in this candle. Hopefully we get a cyan switch. There's a cyan switch there. I don't know if it's gonna have the rip potential that I want to see. It's gotta get it to 75 to really do that. And it's only cyan at 0.1. So it's just the very beginning. There is a 9, 12, 26 crossover though, so that is somewhat reassuring. We did bounce off the CMA 50. TTM's at 0.2 ish. All right, finally got that trade. So we were able to pull it back some. With that cyan switch there, we may get a push back up towards the highs. Let's see if we can break this zone here at 77. But it's looking stronger than it did over here. I may look for an entry off of like 74, maybe 73.50. I entered long, apparently only one contract at 74. I took 2 more contracts. I'm in 3 They're gonna get out 75 and a quarter, 5 ticks. In 3 at 74. TTM is now at 0.6. New candle opened at 0.6, 0.7. It's a little too low. Not enough momentum on this. Yeah, it lacked that momentum, which makes sense because it was off that head and shoulders there. So 0.7. I'm gonna need to see the TTM get over 1. This is kind of moment of truth on this candle here. It's got to break above 75. A break above 75, I think, would bring us into 76. There we go. TTM at 1.2. There's the break. Like I said, the break above 75 would bring us into 76, and there's 76 right there. Okay, so with that push there, and this new TTM's at 1.3, we may actually get a push back up towards 80. See if I can get an entry long off 76. There's a 76 entry. I'm trying to work on my entries. A lot of times the entry is one of the most important components of the trade itself. I'm only in this 2 contracts. Took an additional contract of 74.50. Pulling back a little heavy there. Average entry is 75 and some change. But this just switched to blue on TTM, and so that doesn't inspire confidence. Obviously, we had some blue switches here, but we are on the right side of that head and shoulders there. This needs a break above 76. TTM's moving, but only like a quarter of a point at a time. It's really, really low on its movement. 809, 1.4 to 1.5. It's just not enough to really push it, but it is bouncing off the 9 EMA, so that's good to see. There is a little flag here. Going for an exit at 77.50. It's funny, but I've sort of become used to looking at Bookmap and looking where volume is. There we go, finally pushing above 76. This is the spot that it needs to beat. There we go, break to 77. Let's have 77.25. $1.6 to 2.2. This one opened at 2.7. We're starting to get a little bit of momentum push, but rejected off of that 77 there. Big rejection, actually. Kind of surprising because it's rejecting on kind of low volume. We haven't even hit 1,000 contracts yet. We're only at 870. Last one was only 13. So actually a lot of the volume has kind of dropped out. Well, we had a good op there to get out with about 200 in profit and didn't take it. And here we are on this pullback here. And I just don't have as much confidence in this. So I'm going to reduce this trade down to about a 3 tick, which would be an exit at 76.50. I don't know. We're seeing some pump back up. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it at this point. 2.7 to 3.1. I don't know. TTM's still stacking up. Rip through it. Unfortunately, I happened to reduce my sell order on that, but this was such a volatile drop here. Going from basically 77 all the way down to 75, and then a rip through 77 up to 77.50, which was where my original sell order was, and I ended up getting out at like 76 and some change. I may go ahead and just cut it right there. Small green on the day, you know. But this looks like it's gonna run up to 80. What up, ZZ? Didn't know you were here, man. I'm sorry. Oh wow, a bunch of people put comments in. I didn't even notice. Double top. Let's see. Morning, ZZ. Just been in the charts this whole time. I notice your strategy needs more edge. Can put you on my strategy if you need more edge. This is so true right here, man. So true. This is actually what I was looking for too, Pawn. Was essentially like a test towards 80 and then a drop down. I think at some point it sort of needs to trend reverse back to the downside. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm able to, this is actually something I've been very much considering. So if I'm able to look for days that look like this, we've had a couple this month. and essentially look for possibly like the red yellow move, but this would, as you can see, would have gotten stopped out. What would have been a better move would have been the crossover right here, and then trailing with a larger amount, like not 5 ticks, but something more like 8 to 10 ticks, and looking for an entry like maybe right here, off of this green candle. What could have messed me up though would have been the rip up to the top here, 45, and then a pullback here to what, 44 and a half. I guess that's not that much of a drop. It looked like more, but yeah, I would need to leave a fairly wide breadth, because if for example this candle here, I wasn't around when it was playing, but if for example this one ripped up and then ripped halfway down, then that would have stopped me out of my trade here, but it still would have been a great trade. This is almost like run a trail stop at a multi-point trail stop. There's that push up to 80 that I mentioned. Now the real question here is this going to hit this double top and then just slam down? Like this was a slam down of over 13K contracts, so is this going to continue to push down? Or push back down, rather. Let's see where that 50 is. 50 is still below the VWAP, so I mean, or the 200 is still below the VWAP. I mean, he still may have some sort of like midday moves like this. Yeah, market's still bullish for sure. I think that for the false break, or for the reversal, however you want to call it, I personally think that we're going to need to see the 200 moving average here get above the VWAP, and sort of close this gap some here between this 50 EMA and this 200 moving average. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't get pullbacks off of this 80 and sort of run along the 50 throughout the day, or possibly even pull back to the VWAP and run along that. But I think that by the time that this pulls back down towards the VWAP, this 200 moving average will have gotten mostly over it. If not, then close to it, and this push at VWAP I don't think it would necessarily bounce. I think it would fail and go downside. But like I said, I'm trading paper this week, so which can be frustrating in and of its own right. Honestly, I think it's more frustrating a lot of times to trade paper than it is to trade real. Personally, I don't really get that same sort of pressure, and I kind of like the pressure of trading real. But it's been far less about strategy for me, and far more about what's going on in my psychology. And that's really what I've set out to identify this week. Because like last Friday, for example, I was up 500 and then traded a drop like this, and it wasn't at the highs or anything, but it was something where I was taking a long, and then it slammed down like this and ended up in red or close to it. I was close to red, and then I took another trade like this one here and got slammed down again and put me in red at 500. So, and I've had several instances like that this month. And while that may be in part due to over trading, or possibly in part due to not analyzing the market properly, I think it has more to do with a psychology thing. Is is it just that it's not enough for me to make 500 a day? I mean, the truth of the matter is I want to make more like 3K a day, because I genuinely believe that that's where, like, what I should be at, or where I should be going. But the question is, do I have the skill really to get to that 3K a day? Am I at that skill level yet? And I may go so far as to say no. I think that my skill level is closer to a $500 day as opposed to a $3,000 day, and that's somewhat frustrating to acknowledge. But also, unless we're totally and completely honest with ourselves, it's gonna be very challenging to be good at this trading thing. And so the question that I'm having for myself is, what is it about hitting that $500 limit or financial thermometer, whatever you want to call it, that is making it so that I continue to push? Number one, I could just accept it when I hit that. I think that one of the challenges of accepting it is that I might only sit down for 5 to 10 minutes and hit that $500 mark, and then I'm like, well, I was only here for 5 minutes, and so that is like a thing that I need to switch in my brain. Is okay, well, you hit your target, you hit your goal, now it's time to walk, even if it was 5 minutes. So that's the psychology thing that I need to work on, and I've noticed that a lot throughout this month. And the second is, is it that I'm considering that $500 or whatever it happens to be as not good enough for the day? I think that on days like this where I'm seeing, these sort of larger rips and stuff like that, and I look at like 500 and I'm like, I can go for like 1,000. And it's not to say that I haven't made 1,000 in a day. I've had one day where I made several thousand, but that was several months ago. And so I think that more consistently, the norm is like 450. Like 450 to 500 in a day is more consistently the norm. And so, and that's great, but somebody once said to me, stuck is stuck. And that's really what it is. And, 500 a day or 450 a day, it's still 117 grand a year. It's pretty reasonable income. I definitely wouldn't, it's not going to like change the world or anything like that, but it might change, your own personal world. Yeah, so I guess that's like really the question to me is like, several years ago, I ran a marketing agency, and I ran for a couple of years. One thing that was really awesome about running a marketing agency is that you get to work with all these entrepreneurs and these several like people across a wide spectrum of walks of life, and many of them who had come from abject poverty to multimillionaire status, or multimillionaire businesses, if you will. And one of the things that was really fascinating to me about just about every single one of them that I spoke to, because when you're running that kind of business, you do have the capability of just having back and forth, which is awesome. And it's very expansive for your own mind. One of the things that was really consistent that a lot of them said across the board is stuck is stuck is stuck. It doesn't matter if you're stuck at 10K a month or 100K a month or $1 million a month. If you're stuck there, you're stuck. You're not growing. You're not evolving. And I think that's the thing that I'm struggling with, or at least to some extent, when it comes to making that 450 a day or something like that in the eval. And so if I could have a little bit more patience, I could be like, well, it's 450. I could just do this like a couple of times. Oh no, this day is 100, walk away. This day is 200, walk away. That day is 500, walk away. And it's sort of that walking away that I'm trying to get good at. That's one of the reasons why I switched to paper. It's more or less just a way to discipline myself for this week and come back next week with a little bit more discipline. Just gonna read through these. My winners need more room. I actually agree with that. It's like that. I don't know if you listen to Russ. He had that song called "Therapy" or whatever, and the track was like, he's like, he says something about himself, and he's like, "Bitch, I agree with that." He's talking some smack about himself, and he's like, here's the kicker though. My therapist is me." That's sort of like how I think of a lot about this. Like my therapist is me. His analysis is on point. Appreciate that. Your winners are limited, but losers are uncapped. Um, could be. This thing is stair stepping. There's that new high up there, 84. So this actually, I think this broke the 5-day high. Let's check it out. No, 5-day high is slightly higher at 85.50. For a 5-minute scale, you can see this is actually declining on TTM. Every now and then it just deletes my 3-minute. Psychology problem is not making enough money solutions. Aim for more ticks. If you get enough ticks, your losers won't hurt. That's pretty true. So this right here, I want to actually figure out how to set up multi-bracket orders in Tradeovate. Because I personally love multi-bracket orders. And they're pretty easy to set up in TOS here, but getting to go in Tradeovate is really challenging. Because what I'd really like it to do is to buy 3 and then scale out of the position. And I've looked it up a bunch of different times, and it's just really, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's challenging, but it is. So that's something I'd like to actually get set up, just to be able to do more multi-bracket, just so I can take some profit off at like 5 ticks or something like that. Maybe take some profit off at like 3 to 5 ticks, and then take more profit off at 8, and then again at 12. or just like 4, 8, 12. 'Cause I personally would much rather go for that. But then also at the same time, I mean, is that just the same as just doing it at 8 ticks or something like that? It's a question that I have for myself a lot of the time. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. So yeah, go with 3, have 2 to take profit, 2 for take profit, and leave 1 runner with a trail stop. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. Um, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I want to just say thank you to you guys for showing up, having this conversation with me. Because for me, I find it useful personally, to be able to have this sort of dialogue back and forth. Because it's the psychology to me. Like I don't really believe that the strategy is off. I don't really believe that the analysis is off. Most of the time, that's not to say that I'm 100% accurate with everything, obviously, but I believe it's psychology and like you guys have mentioned, allowing for more profit in those trades while limiting that downside. Um, but yeah, so I just want to say thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. If y'all would do me a favor, just hit that like button. It definitely does help. I do appreciate it. I think Elite Trader Funding is rocking some sort of deal right now. Um, I thought they were running like, maybe not. They were running like 60% off a couple of days ago. But sometimes I do these like flash sales that are like 2 seconds long. Usually they're like a little bit lower than that, but but yeah. So anywho, much love, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here and get the rest of my morning going, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you in the Discord community too. Much love, y'all. Peace.